Hi and welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost, where you get to choose your 5-minute investment. I'm your host, Sam Hicks, and I'll be discussing topics under the headings of business development, marketing, photography, and much more. Okay, so welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost. This episode is 3 of 3 with my guest, Phil East, and today's episode is Profit Acceleration Secrets. So this is based on the book, Digital Marketing Essentials and Marketing Insights to Drive Real Growth. So there's 2 books there that Phil will be referencing back and forth to today. So Phil, welcome back to the 5-Minute Business Boost. And today we're going to uncover real-world strategies to maximise profits without increasing the marketing costs, which I know a lot of our listeners will love because money is as tight as at the moment. So as I said, we're going to continue our conversation with Phil. Phil's a profit acceleration expert and a popular guest on this series. Phil, don't want to inflate your ego, but there's been hundreds of downloads of our episodes, so I'm quite excited about that. And we're going to be discussing 2 digital powerhouse strategies today. So welcome back, Phil.
Thanks, Sam. It's great to be here and great to hear that people have been finding some value in what we've been talking about. So that's awesome. Now, for those that have been following along in the series, hopefully they've got to see how each of these strategies layer onto the next and make a difference to get that exponential growth. So, and how you don't have to spend a lot. A lot of them are low cost to no cost strategies that can generate instant cash flow into your business. So today we're going to focus on leveraging automation to generate and nurture customer relationships and increase lifetime value.
Alrighty, so this is probably one that we're both going to enjoy. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the other 2 episodes, but this is really around digital marketing. And we know how big of a topic this is, Phil. But how should businesses, when they're thinking about profit acceleration and stuff, think about it more strategically?
So I think the key is to shift from traditional advertising to a profit-driven digital system. So digital marketing isn't just ads and social media. It's about building an automated lead generation machine, educating customers before they buy, and tracking and optimizing results. Okay? And that's a big one, and there's plenty of software to help you do that. So it's not as daunting as it may sound. If you're getting good results, it's actually really fun, Sam.
It is.
So if we look at a case study, and one of my favourites is cosmetic surgeon. They 10x their leads, okay, by implementing the digital marketing strategy. So they were just doing Facebook ads and saw low conversions, okay? Instead of selling immediately or trying to sell immediately, we built a lead funnel. So we created an ad using the conversion equation, which goes interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. I'm glad I got that out this time, Sam.
Oh, you didn't have to look up that one on the whiteboard, did you?
and we created a message, do you want the body you had before you had kids? Okay.
And that applies to both genders and all the other genders out there. Oh, my God, Phil, what a funny one.
Well, I think that not only appeals to the mums, which it's supposed to, but it can actually apply to the dads too.
Keep the grey hair on everybody.
So we sent traffic to a squeeze page where visitors downloaded a free guide on post-pregnancy makeovers. Now, a squeeze page, okay, that's a bit of jargon for a landing page where people put in their email address generally, name and email address, for a downloadable or a checklist or some information regarding to the product or service they're wanting. So I'm sure everyone that's listening has done something like that at some stage. And I think the key to do that is having something that's a quality and beneficial. If it's quality and it's beneficial, people are going to download. And if they don't, it's either they're not your client, or you might have to look at what you're offering and whether it is a good fit. But it's certainly a great way to have people who are invisible out there looking for a solution to put their hand up and say, hey, I'm interested. And then all of a sudden there, you know about them. So the squeeze page is a great way to do that.
Is that like a lead magnet?
The lead magnet is what you download on your squeeze page. So,
awesome. Thank you.
That's your downloadable, your checklist, any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So I think you're up to step 3, Phil.
Yeah, so from there, of course, with the squeeze page, we collected emails and phone numbers.
Yep.
To nurture the leads through the drip campaign, which we touched on in an earlier episode. So before we implemented this, he was getting 35 leads per month.
Yeah.
So after, all of a sudden, he's at 400 leads per month.
Whoa.
Okay. That's 1,143% increase. So with a 12% conversion rate, that's 32 new patients a month. And for him, 32 more patients goes into 600,000. Now, he won't be able to handle that. So he has to turn it off, because if you look at the way a nurture campaign works, next month he might get 32 new customers but he might pick up another 4 that come in that he's been nurturing that he got from leads the prior month. So it can build and build and build. And it might be all of a sudden, real quickly, he's getting 80 a month, and so therefore it's we have to turn the tap off. So that regularly happens. And that's where you have to actually put more people on. So that's a very powerful strategy.
That's a huge increase. So digital marketing is just not about running ads. It's about building that journey that nurtures potential buyers as well. Is that right, Phil?
You're spot on, Sam. If you only run ads, you're leaving 90% of your potential profit on the table.
Okay, so now we have touched on this before, but it's a really good one. You've mentioned drip campaigns. So how do they work, Phil?
So the drip campaign is like a series of automated emails that gradually move prospects toward a sale. So instead of just sending one email, you educate, engage, and build trust over time.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So if you think of there was one included in our previous case study, but if you look at a home renovation business, so the contractor was struggling with low conversion rates from website visitors. So instead of saying, call us for a quote, which is a standard call to action on websites, I would imagine, from experience, we set up a drip email sequence. Okay, so the first email was the 5 most common home renovation mistakes and how to avoid them. The next one, which we sent out on day 3, was why cheap contractors cost you more in the long run. And in day 7, it was how to choose a reliable home renovation expert. And then on day 10, they sent out a special offer for responding to the email. Okay, so if you can see in there, they're all focused on great information that's going to help whoever's receiving those make a good buying decision, regardless of who they choose as their renovation contractor. So before we did that, there's 2% website conversion. After, there's a 14% conversion rate. So that's a 600% increase. So a lot of people look at that and they go, oh, it's only a 10 or 12% increase, but it's actually 600. So results, they got 50,000 in additional monthly revenue just from having those extra people on board and extra people developing that relationship.
Yeah. So instead of hard selling, you're actually building the trust slowly, but you're also demonstrating the value as you go along. Is that right?
Perfect. So people buy when they feel comfortable. Okay. And drip campaigns can do the selling for you automatically. So long as what you're giving them is relevant to what and helps them make a good buying decision, regardless of whether they're going to buy it from you. I can't imagine people getting great information about their home renovation and not giving you the opportunity for the job. There's no guarantee you'll get the job, but it gives you the opportunity.
Yeah. So what happens then when you combine digital marketing with drip campaigns?
Okay, well, so that's where profit acceleration skyrockets, Sam. Right. So you're bringing in new leads and you're nurturing them into lifelong customers. Okay, so if we take our case study of the online course creator, okay, so a business coach wanted to sell a $9.97 online program, okay, but cold ads weren't converting. So instead of pushing for the sale up front, we built an automated marketing funnel. Okay. So step one, we ran some Facebook ads to a free 20-minute training video. Then we captured email addresses and entered them into a 10-day drip campaign. We delivered daily value-packed emails with insights from the course, so it was relatable to what they've already been looking at. And then we sent a 10-day email offer. On day 10, we sent an email offered the $997 course with a limited time bonus. So it took us 10 days to actually get to offering back to the $997, which we were offering up front before. So our conversions went from 1% with the direct ads to 9.5%, which is a 10x improvement. So revenue went from $10,000 a month to $95,000 a month. So just the power of it and the way it just builds on itself and compounds is unbelievable.
So this is a different mindset. This is about selling up front, using digital marketing to attract leads, and then drip campaigns to nurture them into buyers.
Yep, you're spot on, Sam.
Yep.
People don't buy when they first see you. They buy when they feel ready. Now, recent data indicates that it takes 7 hours and 38 minutes of interaction for someone to know, like, and trust you. Okay, so in the past, we might have talked about 7 to 12 touches or however that went. Yeah. Now with videos and content and everything, it's just over 7.5 hours. So this is where your YouTube, podcasts, blogs, social media, and other content can be included in your drip campaign and mentioned on your website, socials, and in your email signature. So prospects can then choose how quickly they get their 7 hours, 38 minutes worth.
I love that. What was it? It was they had to see your ad or interact with your brand 7 times before purchasing.
Yeah. And really if you think about it, just as an extension of that, if you, in the old term, if you say that people only get 1 in 3 or read 1 in 3 emails, and you want to have 7 interactions, that's 21. It's a 21 email sequence you've got to write. So it is significant, and knowing these things is quite beneficial.
It is beneficial. So, Phil, this has been another game changer. So how can listeners apply these strategies to their business? Now, I know we've mentioned this twice before in each of the previous 2 episodes of this 3-part series, but just let's remind everybody how they can apply these strategies.
So I think just the practical touch, feel, seeing is believing, and that sort of thing. If we've got the profit acceleration simulator, okay. So there's a link there that will send you there.
Yep.
There's no opt-in or anything like that to get in and muck around with it. There's some explanatory videos there that'll tell you about how it works. I encourage you to use your own numbers.
Yep.
And go through each strategy and think about what sort of a difference it may make to your business and plug in that percentage, whether it's anywhere from 0% to 10, 15%, however, whatever it works out. And it will monetize those and build on each one, and it will give you a difference if you implement those strategies, what the difference could be in your business. So, and there's 12 fundamental ones there. You can even deep dive down to 40 different strategies and see what difference that can make in your business. And it will generate a report for you that will prioritize those strategies and start you with the low cost, no cost, biggest bang for your buck, quickest to implement strategy and work its way from there.
So our listeners will be able to jump onto the link that's included in our show notes and to be able to use that profit acceleration software simulator that you're talking about, Phil. Thank you so much for being part of this 3 series. You've given up your time and your effort and imparted some of your wisdom and case studies and facts and figures, and I've really enjoyed that. But people, if you are listening and you are thinking about using this tool, the gold is actually then to reach out to Phil and have a chat to Phil, because Phil works with a range of businesses, micros right through to large businesses, to make sure that they are accelerating their profits. But Phil, thanks again. It's been awesome, 3 episodes. Woo! Well done to us. And thanks again, Phil. It's been an honour.
Thanks, Sam. And there's just one thing I could say. If there is something that you've heard that piques your interest, please go and explore it a bit more, research a bit more, find out how, and just what difference it might make to your business. And I encourage you to really do that.
Well, if we've inspired people today, Phil, that's half our job, isn't it, really? So thanks, everybody, and cheerio until the next episode of the 5-Minute Business Boost podcast. Have a great one. See you, Phil. Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Business Boost. For more information, follow me on socials, sign up for my newsy, or check out my website to see how we can work together to reach your small business goals. Remember, anything is possible, especially in the northeast of Victoria. Until next time, cheerio.